What if the most dangerous person in the room is the one who hasn't said a single word? In every meeting, every social gathering, every negotiation, there is always that one person. The one everyone watches but no one understands. Why does their silence make us so uncomfortable? Why do we instinctively trust the loud but fear the calm? We live in a world that equates noise with power. We are taught that to be a leader you must speak. To be seen you must scream. But what if silence is not weakness? What if silence is the highest form of strategy? Throughout history, from emperors to billionaires, the people who spoke the least often controlled the most. Today you will understand the true nature of the quiet mind. You will learn why they are not passive, shy, or harmless. They are dangerous. Not because they are violent, but because they are unreadable. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once warned, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Most people forget this rule. The dangerous ones live by it. Let's begin. In modern psychology, there is a concept known as the vacuum of authority. When there is silence, average people feel a desperate need to fill it with noise. They talk about themselves, their plans, and their fears just to kill the silence. But the quiet person? They are comfortable in the void. To the untrained eye, silence looks like absence. It looks like they have nothing to contribute. But make no mistake, silence is not empty. It is loaded. Quiet people are often underestimated. They are mistaken for being slow, insecure, or submissive. And that mistake is exactly what makes them powerful. It is their camouflage. While the loud are busy performing for the crowd, the quiet are busy processing reality. Silence is not a lack of thought. It is the complete control over expression. In a world addicted to attention, self-control is the ultimate superpower. Here are 7 distinct reasons why you should never antagonize the quietest person in the room. Reason number 1, quiet people see more than they reveal. Loud people are like radio transmitters. They are constantly broadcasting their position, their intentions, and their emotions. They are so busy transmitting that they forget to receive. Quiet people are receivers. While others talk to impress, the silent observe to understand. They read the room like a grandmaster reads a chessboard. They notice the things you think you are hiding. They see the micro-expression of fear when you mention a competitor. They hear the slight crack in your voice when you lie. They notice who looks at whom when a difficult question is asked. They see patterns where others only see chaos. Sun Tzu, the ancient strategist, wrote in The Art of War, "Know your enemy and know yourself, and you will not be imperiled in 100 battles." How can you know your enemy if you never stop talking? You can't. Quiet people collect information. And information is ammunition. By the time they decide to speak, they already know your strengths, your weaknesses, and your motivations. The room rarely studies them back because everyone is too busy looking at the loudspeakers. That asymmetry is pure power. Reason number 2, silence weaponizes the human imagination. Humans have a deep, evolutionary fear of the unknown. When we are in the dark, our brain invents monsters. The same happens in social dynamics. When someone speaks a lot, you know exactly where they stand. You know their political views, their mood, and their intelligence. They become predictable. And predictable things are safe. But when someone stays silent, your mind begins to panic. It tries to fill the gaps. You start projecting. You start overthinking. Is he judging me? Does she know something I don't? This is called psychological displacement. The quiet person becomes a mirror. You project your own insecurities onto them. Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "The most dangerous enemies are those who remain silent." Why? Because you cannot manipulate what you cannot understand. Quiet people don't need to dominate the conversation with volume. Their silence forces others to expose themselves. People often start revealing secrets or offering concessions just to get a reaction out of the quiet person. They talk to break the tension, but in doing so, they hand over the keys to the kingdom. Reason number 3, they possess emotional immunity. Silence is often the result of extreme emotional mastery. Look at how most people react to conflict. If they are insulted, they explode. If they are praised, they glow. They are puppets pulled by the strings of their own emotions. Loud reactions usually come from impulse. Silence comes from restraint. Quiet people do not waste energy reacting to everything around them. They choose, very carefully, when something deserves a response. This makes them incredibly unpredictable. If you insult a quiet person and they just stare at you without blinking or shouting, it is terrifying. You don't know if they are ignoring you or planning your destruction. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Quiet people live by this rule. They don't beg for validation. They don't reveal weakness in moments of anger. They have built a fortress around their mind. While everyone else is riding the roller coaster of emotions, they are watching from the ground, perfectly still. Reason number 4, silence wins arguments. In a verbal confrontation, the instinct is to speak faster, louder, and more aggressively. We feel that if we stop talking, we are losing the argument. Quiet people know the opposite is true. When you pause during a conflict, 2 things happen. First, you destabilize the aggressor. They expect resistance. When they hit nothing but air, they lose their balance. Second, you give yourself time to think. While the other person is hyperventilating and saying things they will regret later, the quiet person is calculating the perfect response. Silence denies your opponent the fuel they need. Fire cannot burn without oxygen. Drama cannot survive without a reaction. Lao Tzu said, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." Sometimes, the most aggressive move you can make is to refuse to engage. It signals that the other person's chaos is beneath you. It is not a retreat, it is an act of dominance. Reason number 5, they move in the shadows. There is a biological rush of dopamine we get when we announce our goals. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get in shape. The brain feels satisfied just by saying it. This creates a false sense of achievement. Loud people announce their plans. Quiet people execute them. They don't seek applause for things they haven't done yet. They don't need the validation of the crowd. They let the results speak. This makes their success shocking to others. People ask, "Where did that come from?" It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from the shadows. It came from months of preparation done in silence. Seneca warned us about this centuries ago. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Quiet people are always preparing. They are sharpening their knives while everyone else is sleeping. You just never hear them coming until it is too late. Reason number 6, silence signals confidence, not submission. Weak people feel the need to prove themselves constantly. They explain, they justify, they apologize. Strong people don't explain. Quiet individuals understand that not everyone deserves access to their thoughts. And when someone doesn't seek your approval, they automatically hold power over you. And finally, reason number 7, when they strike, it is fatal. The most dangerous trait of quiet people is their decisiveness. They don't threaten. They don't warn. They don't brag about what they might do. When they move, it is calculated. When they speak, it is intentional. And when they confront, it is final. Napoleon Bonaparte said, "The best way to keep one's word is not to give it." Quiet people don't waste words. So when they finally open their mouths, the weight of their words is heavy. People listen. Because they know that if the quiet person is speaking, it must be important. We live in a society that rewards noise. We equate visibility with value. But history tells a different story. The true architects of reality were not the loudest in the room. They were the most precise. If you are a quiet person, do not try to change. Do not force yourself to be loud just to fit in. Understand your power. You are not invisible. You are unreadable. And in a world where everyone is an open book, being a cipher is the ultimate advantage. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you are weak. Because the most dangerous predator in the jungle is never the one roaring. It is the one you never hear. If you want to learn how to master your own psychology and read the minds of those around you, you are in the right place. I have created a full course on human behavior design right here on this channel. Click on this playlist here to continue your training. See you in the shadows.